My name is Thomas, and I am the 1%. Of course, when people reference the 1%, they are generally talking about the unfair concentration of wealth within the United States, or the American 1%. But there's a much more inclusive 1% that rarely gets discussed: the global 1%. Did you know that if you make $34,000 per year US, you are in the global 1%? Now, being in the top 1% in the world doesn't automatically entail living like true royalty. That being said, being born in the United States or in any wealthy developed country is a huge privilege. Simply by being born here, you have a great shot at being in the global 1%. Do you know who doesn't have any shot whatsoever to be in the global 1%? Sokina of Bangladesh. Sokina was going through what should have been a precious and joyful part of her life: pregnancy. She prepared for her big moment as best she could. However, after 4 days of excruciating labor, Sokina survives. Her baby did not. Sokina's nightmare was just beginning. Through her horrible ordeal, she was left with a fistula. What is a fistula?
One of the most devastating things about obstetric fistula is that it most often occurs to a young woman the first time she's having a child.
They lose their children, the baby, and they lose often their marriage. They are outcast by the society, even the neighbors, everybody, because of the smell actually.
18 ዓመት በሞላ እዚህ በሽታ ጋር አብሬ እኖራለሁ። ትቶ ሄደ። ያው ቤት አልነበረኝም። ከዚህ ኑሬ እንደሄድኩ ያማ 6 ወር ተቀምጬ ሄድኩኝ። ቤት ተከራየሁ። ቤት ስከራይ ውጭ ብላ መስከረም ላይ ወጣሽ።
Sokina's injury left her incontinent. Her husband left due to the smell. Her friends and family stopped visiting, and she began a life of shame. Now, in the United States, where emergency obstetric care is available to all, there are 0 people with fistulas. Across the world, where there are often few hospitals, poor public transportation systems, and immense poverty, 1 million women have fistulas. Across the world, every 1 in 26 children die before age 5 due to preventable causes such as malaria, diarrhea, and starvation. Across the world, half the population, 3.4 billion people, survive on just $5.50 or less per day. These are tragedies that no one in the United States has to ever face. And that's why it's a huge privilege simply to be born here. That's why many people from around the world are literally dying to get here. Some people complain about the American 1%, that they are too privileged, don't do enough to help others, that they should sacrifice and live more like the 99% does. I tend to agree with them. But then, what about the 1% that I'm a part of? The global 1%? I am privileged. I can do something to help the global 99%. I can give up some of my wealthy comforts that I truly do not need. What would I be willing to do to stand with Sokina? I certainly would be willing to work 1 week for her. My weekly paycheck is more than enough to cover the cost of 1 woman's fistula surgery. It only costs $586. For the last week, I worked for Sokina. To live more simply and donate every last dollar that I could, I moved to the woods near my job and biked to work. I had only 3 expenses: groceries, which I stored at my job, I showered at my gym every day, and I had cell phone service. Everything else I made went to Sokina. If you think this lifestyle is a little odd, you are out of touch with how most people in the world live, including the 500,000 homeless people on a given night in the United States. I didn't do much. I could live this way permanently instead of just for 1 week. And I still remain comfortably within the global 1%. But it's something. And it's something that literally gave a woman her life back. I donated my paycheck to Fistula Foundation. The Life You Can Save rates Fistula Foundation to be one of the 22 most effective charities in the world. Charity Watch puts them in their list of the top 34 charities in the world. Charity Navigator puts them in the top 1% of the best charities in the world, and so on. There are many good ways to change the world. Donating money to an established organization where you get incredible bang for your buck is one of, if not the best and most effective ways to change the world. Fistula Foundation is one such organization. They turn your $586 directly into a repaired woman's body and soul.
Nashukuru tu Mungu abariki daktari atibu wenzangu vile alinitibu.
Maisha sasa niko vizuri nafurahia. Naweza hata kucheza, kuongea, kuruka, na nikisikia hata nikifanya hivi nikinusa hakuna kitu chochote.
Ni shukurani tu, lakini yani malipo sina yoyote ya kulipa, lakini warudishia tu shukurani. Mungu awabariki tena.
I didn't believe it could happen, but now I know it's true.
I'm humbly asking you to join me. You don't have to move to the woods. What you can do is work 1 full week for Sokina. If you can't manage that, then work 1 full day for her. It's going to feel good. Know that while you're working, you're doing it for her. That you are literally saving her life. My name is Thomas, and I am the 1%.